It's an amazing opportunity to truly celebrate the history of not only the industry, but of the association and everything it's achieved over the years.
It's a part of your human need, and I believe that Clubs SA provide that, not only in the way they operate, but also for the way they are able to support the community around them.
Local clubs are critical. It's a meeting place for people with like interests, somewhere where they can get out and enjoy themselves without having to go to a hotel or something similar.
The whole town revolves around the various clubs that are in the town, and if the youngsters and not so young people don't get involved, either on a playing field or in a voluntary capacity off the field, well then the clubs don't run, and then the community fractures and struggles.
Well, one of the things we've got is our own advocate to look after claims from DVA and all those sort of things, and we have been able to give him his own private office with air conditioning, and so have made a pleasant place for people to come sit down quietly and talk through.
They need to have somewhere that they can go and have that camaraderie with each other, and they make friends, and it gets them out of their homes.
It just gives you a place to go, and I love that clubs just brings people together.
We promote ourselves as community friendly.
I think sometimes we just need to reinforce just how important clubs are. When you think that something like 720,000 South Australians are members of clubs, and I reckon it's important to actually tell the people that work in the clubs what a great job you do and how important you are, because I think a lot of it's taken for granted.
I did 20 years in the army as an infantryman. So as far as I'm concerned, the club keeps that history alive.
The Year 9s in their history classes come over to look through our war memorial and have a bit of a talk about the history of the First World War.
My mother-in-law, she's at a bridge club 3 days a week. It's about meeting people, it's about interacting, it's your social life, it's where you make lifelong friends. So I think it's all intertwined, really.
So my daughter plays basketball with the Forestville Basketball Club, so she started that when she was 8 and she's now only 17, so I've been involved as a coach for that entire duration, so it's really nice being at grassroots level with basketball.
I was very lucky that the Sturt Cricket Club was mine, and those wonderful supporters and those wonderful facilities, and then going back there and just seeing those places develop is just tremendous.
My mother's a life member, my father played there, my brother, my sisters played netball, so it's so important, it's our DNA, so that's why I love local grassroots footy clubs and sporting clubs.
My own situation, if I didn't have the RSL, I don't know what I'd be doing, so it just gets people out and gets them up and out of bed and gives them a purpose in life.
Once you became a team player, it wasn't all just about you, and just taught you a lot of life skills, being resilient, being accountable, certainly not taking anything for granted, and realising that there was other people around you, so you needed to turn up to training, you needed to work hard so you weren't letting anyone else down.
Clubs are the lifeblood of local communities, so it might be just from the community's perspective of bringing people together. Clubs are some people's family.
I think that's very important in a club, that people look out for each other. And people are always greeted well, and the banter that goes on within the club rooms is fantastic. If people can leave us and say, well, I've had a good time and a laugh, that's what we expect them to go away with. So.
Son-in-law and daughter up on the farm up in the Balaclava region there, and they're so reliant on that getting together. They get challenged with bushfires and drought and storm and those sorts of things, and the community has to work, and the club is the vital place for that to occur.
Having Clubs SA being a viable body moving forward is really important to this future of the industry and the licensed clubs that it represents.
It's a beaut story, it's told so very well, and we should acknowledge 100. I certainly did on my first test. To get that 100 was pretty darn special.
If they've gone for 100 years, that proves they must be doing something right.